Hey there, Hampton Park honey fans and non-fans. I'm now gonna check in to see what's happened since it has been 9 days ago. Right now it's May 1. 7 days ago it rained all day, so it was a washout, but you saw last week on my video that I actually transplanted my hives, and I was worried about some bees congregating over on the other side of the yard still, but they must have figured it out because there were no deaths over there. They all made their way back and everybody's doing their work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open these things up and see what happened. Remember, the blue hive, the middle one, has a queen bee and the other two had killed them off. So I borrowed babies and eggs from the middle hive and I put them in the other two. And I'm going to open things up to see if they are actually, in fact, raising a queen cell. So we'll see what's going on here in just a second. All right, hive number 3, also known as fossil box. This is always so hard to do one-handed. Need to recruit Noah as my videographer, my 13-year-old son. Okay, so inner cover off, and yeah, I put a couple patties in there to feed them, especially knowing the weather is going to be pretty bad. So I'm going to take a couple frames out now and see what we have going on in there. Well, this is bizarre. Taking things out, and this is the frame of eggs that I passed along, and they are all capped and growing, but no queen cells among them. Very weird. Because usually if they can't smell a queen pheromone, they are going to work as hard as they can to raise a queen. I'm going to look extra hard to see if I have a non-laying queen who happened to get her paint rubbed off in the short time she was here, or if I need to borrow more bees or babies from the other hive to get it in here, because they're all quiet, but nothing going on here in hive 1. Well, on the other side, we actually found a hole. They were covering it so it wasn't easy to see. Let's see if I could find it again. But they did make one supersedure cell. I think it's right over here. They're still sitting on top of it. But it's a bulging cell that they basically clear out some cells around it to raise it to make it bigger for the queen and keep feeding it royal jelly. I'm not totally happy with the fact that they just made one. That's not really good insurance. Usually they bring out like 4 or 5 of them, and then whichever queen emerges first stings and kills off the other developing queen bees, but it's insurance. So I'm still gonna borrow some brood from the next hive over and give it back, just to give them another boost. This hive now, my happy hive, ocean view I call it when I get the ocean painted boxes on there, is doing great. If you look in here real close, you will see little white eggs all over the place. I haven't spotted the queen. I don't think she's on this frame, but all these eggs, new babies. This is awesome. This is what I'm looking for. I'm gonna put this in the other hive so they could continue to hedge their bets and get a new queen going. Now, my, I guess, hive number 1, technically, this was one I called Brick House. This is another one where I put brood in, or eggs from another one, and I do not see queen cells. I see a bigger problem. There are new eggs in here, and I don't see a queen. I didn't see her last time, and when I look at it even closer, I don't know if the camera's going to show this very well, but a lot of these eggs are laid out not in single numbers in the cells, single cells. There's more than one per cell in most of them. I'm seeing 2, I'm seeing 3, a lot of 2s. And what that tells me is I have myself likely a laying worker bee. What's a laying worker bee? Well, if they don't detect the queen's pheromone long enough and don't raise up a queen, eventually one of the worker bees becomes desperate and just starts going into autopilot for laying eggs. But a worker bee, even though it's a female, doesn't breed. It wasn't capable of breeding. So these are not fertilized eggs. And what happens is those unfertilized eggs are the actual ones that grow up to be drones. So what I could have is, unless I found in this bunch of 20,000 bees in here, or 10,000 bees, the culprit, which is pretty much impossible, I've got myself a hive that's on its way to being a dead out. Because all it's going to be is laying males, which don't do any work. And so I might be in trouble. This one may be a goner hive. But 2 for 3, and honestly, what I could end up doing is I could just probably isolate this thing, put another box on top of it, and split one of the other guys and see if I could actually raise something else, because this is not a good scenario. But all right, that is it. So one hive doing well, one hive replanted and hopefully on the right track, and one hive definitely on the wrong track. That's it for today.